So I'm here today with Scott, who has been working kind of in and around the Sustain system since January this year. So, hello, my man. Hope you're well. And I'd just like you to start off with what have you achieved so far, please?
So I've achieved a weight loss of just over 4 stone. And not only that, but as I found out a couple of weeks ago, my resting heart rate has dropped by about 20 beats a minute.
Wow.
In that time.
He's actually got a lower resting heart rate than Lance Armstrong when he was pumped full of drugs now. So very impressive. So where were you? So before this all before you started working with me and kind of with the Flab plan and with Sustain, where were you struggling? What was stopping you from making progress, please?
It was being consistent was my struggle, really. It was, I'd look at different diets, and I'd start one thing and I'd do a week, maybe 2 weeks max on it, and then that would be that. I'd just fall out with it. I really struggled with a lot of these things that were just like far too restrictive, and they weren't really teaching me about what I was eating. They were just saying, oh, you just need to eat this, and you need to reduce your portions, and you need to do this. And it wasn't really, teaching me how to eat and where I was going wrong in the first place. So, it just wasn't any good for me, effectively. I was hungry. I was still craving those other things a lot, and not realizing that I could still have some of the bad things, but I needed to make sure it was all in moderation, and I was really watching what I was eating, but I could eat big portions of things.
Absolutely. So how do you feel like the coaching with me or the accountability has helped you then?
Well, it's basically just made me think about what I'm eating, how I'm eating it and how I'm actually cooking. It's really because I've been logging every day since the 6th of January, I believe it is.
Yeah.
I've been watching, what has been going on there, and my portion size, especially when it comes to, certain things, to make sure I'm not taking on too many calories effectively, and that I am eating the right amount of calories. Sorry, Matt. I've completely forgotten what the question was now. And then
how do you find that accountability has helped you? I think that was the question. You kind of lost me. The thing I liked that you said there is that the initial problem was consistency. Is you'd start with something and not see it.
Yeah.
And then what you've just said there is, I've logged my food every day since the 6th of January. So I'll just count it out in my hands now. Kind of to February to March to April into May, like 4.5 months of thinking about what you're doing, and you're, over 4 stone down. Is that it's an obvious parallel, isn't it? Is that to me, that focus is what's provided such, a drastic result. And in fact, how long have you kept the weight off for? Because there was a point when you lost 3 stone quite quickly, didn't you? So it's not like it's been, and the reason this is a good thing for me is it's not been like a steady 2 pound a week drop, because there was a big drop.
Yeah.
You kind of continued progressing at a healthier rate, because I've been able to see your food, and it's not been perfect, and there's been times when you've had more food and struggled a bit, but you've not gone up, you've just plateaued. And then when you've reined it back in, the results have come back again. And I think that's always a good sign for me is, if you'd lost 4 stone in 2 months and then we'd not seen any progress, that would be more of not a worry as such, but it's good that you had that big initial drop and have then continued to make progress. Is that a fair assessment of how you've done?
Yeah, pretty much, to be fair. I did really well up until pretty much lockdown, I think it was. And then during lockdown, that's when I've started letting, those treats back in again. But with the amount of exercise that I've been doing as well, it's, it's sort of balanced itself. And yeah, I've maintained some weeks and I've lost other weeks, but I don't think I've actually gained.
Brilliant. What are the physical changes then you've seen kind of in your life? Obviously it's nice to see the number change on the scale, but there's bigger benefits to it than that. So what are they?
Well, I do a lot of mountain biking now. And a couple of weeks ago, I actually got accused of
I was going to bring it up.
doing a Strava segment on an e-bike, which is quite a compliment, really. Someone actually thinking you're on an electrically assisted bike doing a Strava segment, getting a really good fast time on it. My fitness has basically gone through the roof this past few months. I feel fitter right now than I have done, well, ever, I believe. When I initially started to sustain, I actually decided to try and do a bit of running as well, which didn't really work with me. It hurt my knee to do, but I actually proved to myself that I can run a kilometre, I can run 2 kilometres without actually stopping. And it was all that working on it. And yet when I was at school, I remember doing, I think it was an 800 metre, which is 0.8 of a kilometre. I just hating it and just stopping all the time and just like, I can't be arsed with this. But if I put my mind to it, I can do it. And I'm a lot fitter now than I even was at school.
Yeah, that's interesting because I don't know if we discussed this when we've spoken. We've spoken a couple of times. I don't really know kind of your backstory through it. Because how old are you? Sorry,
I'm 33.
33.
Mm-hmm.
So how long? When were you first kind of overweight? I don't think I know this actually. I'm quite interested.
No, to be fair, as a kid, I was quite overweight. And then when I became a teenager, I sort of lost a lot of it. And then getting to about 16, I found, booze and cigs and takeaways and late nights, and just sort of slowly piled it on from there. And it's been the last sort of, probably the last sort of 10 years when it has really sort of started piling on, of which, as then got to my 19 stone and decided something needed to be done.
What was the trigger at 19 stone? Oh, well, obviously the number, but was there anything else, or was that the first time you'd been 19 stone, or?
No, it's not the first time I've been 19 stone. I was 19 stone a couple of years ago, but I somehow managed to get off about a stone or so, but then gradually put it on again. And to be fair, there wasn't actually a trigger in January. It was my partner has previously done one of your things, and she got an email basically saying, we're looking for men to join our new plan. Do you know anybody? She forwarded it on to me. I didn't even weigh myself. I didn't know what I was weighing. I just knew that my clothes were just about fitting, Yeah. And then I filled in the questionnaire and sent it off, and obviously got into the plan.
When were you last under 15 stone then? Do you know?
Couldn't tell you, mate. Could not tell you the last time I was under 15 stone. It probably sometime in my early 20s, maybe late teens.
Right, so a good 10 years then. Brilliant. Yeah. I didn't know that. That's awesome. Awesome, well done. So I guess the last thing then, Bud, is what would you say as a recommendation to people? What has been the benefit? How has it helped you? What would you say to people hesitant about signing up?
Do you know what I just said? Just give it a go. What's 1 month going to do? You're going to look at it and see if you actually enjoy it. And for me, it was brilliant. I having that daily contact with you, and you questioning what I was eating. Just saying, did you really need that biscuit? Why don't you have more broccoli instead? If you're still hungry or whatever. And it was just that sort of daily contact with somebody who's completely impartial, doesn't know me, doesn't know anything about me, and was literally just going on, well, did you need that extra, bag of crisps or whatever?
Yeah. It's just the cold hard fact of it, isn't it? And
yeah.
I think just to throw my thing into the mix I think when we first started Sustain, it'd be like, did you need to have the wine? Could you have had a gin and tonic? And then someone would say, oh, it's my wife's birthday. And you go, oh, maybe that's fair enough. And it's just putting those options in front of you. And I think that when, we shine a light on these things, is that if people can take accountability for their actions, like you obviously did a brilliant job, you could just go, yeah, do you know what? You're right. And then having the wherewithal to act on that. And obviously, before doing it to absolutely the letter, and then now being a bit more relaxed but still making progress. And I think that was the point I was kind of getting at the start, is that you've made progress whether you've been absolutely nailing it or even when you've been a bit more relaxed, and you know, people struggling during lockdown, like, you're still losing. And at the very least, you know, even your very worst weeks, keeping the weight off that you've lost. So it's just brilliant. It's great to see someone doing so well and to finding that nice balance. And I think that obviously with such a drastic result, you're always going to have an interesting story.
Yeah.
So, you know, thank you very much for that.
No, one thing I do want to show. So obviously we've been in lockdown, and I don't actually know what waist size I am anymore.
Right.
And I can't go online and buy shorts, because I'd need to buy, you know, a couple of pairs to actually try them on to figure out what they were like. So I've just been wearing my old pair of shorts for a while. So look at that.
Oh my God. Don't worry. Jeez.
So I can actually take them off without undoing anything.
Yeah. There was a lot more man in those shorts before, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Have you noticed that with a lot of your clothes, or did you always kind of wear bigger stuff, do you think?
I've always slightly worn bigger jeans, because I've always had big thighs. You know, I've always had quite powerful legs anyway, even before I started cycling. But like, all my t-shirts are just far too big now, and you know, luckily I can just order the next size down in them, and that seems to be all right.
Yeah.
But the trousers, I'm always going to struggle with.
Fair enough.
Especially now, my legs are defined now, but they're still quite large.
Yeah, better problem to have, isn't it, if you're packing out the legs rather than the waist? So yeah, good stuff. Right, cheers, dude. I will press stop there. Thank you very much.